A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls. Thank you very much for joining the Live Signatures Radio and whatever place it is you're tuned on. You're welcome on board. This is a daily show. If you're tuning for the very first time, it's a daily show that is a teaching, inspirational, motivational podcast focused on purpose, productivity, and resilience. Three major things and anything in between there. For the third time now since we started this new series, we are talking about the importance of spirit in our crafts. Why we need to infuse and add spirit in whatever it is that we do. And yesterday was actually very powerful. You can go back and listen to yesterday's episode. We are building episode after episode even as we continue to unpack this. I can take a whole hour to do it, but got to break it into chunks. So stay tuned even as we go ahead.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
There will always be a difference. There will always be a difference in the fruits. There's always going to be a difference in application. There's always going to be a difference in approach. This difference is brought about by either spirit being involved or spirit not being involved. That's why in the Bible there's a distinction between a slave and a son. The faithfulness of a slave is coerced. It's not even there. The faithfulness of a son is inherited. It's spiritual. It's inherent. They don't work, sons, they don't work for sundown and payday. They work for life. They don't come to the table when there is just sausages and meat. But even when there is roughage, they are there. They're not going to move and say, this place doesn't have nice food, I'm going to go elsewhere. No, they're there. They are born in there. There's a difference. So I'm digressing, but let me talk about spirit. Every time you encounter someone in their craft, you can tell whether there is spirit or not in whatever it is that they're doing by how they approach it, by how they do it, and by how they interact with you. And so it's important that at the beginning of anything that we do, we got to clarify, is this spirit or not? We've got to start in the spirit and we've got to keep in the spirit. But even if you haven't started in the spirit, you can start recalibrating and find where the spirit leads. The scripture says we stand on the crossroads and we ask for ancient paths. Now, again, this is not a religious sermon. It's not a religious podcast. It's not a religious episode. Spirit is human. That's why I said in the episode yesterday, there's such a thing as the spirit of Apple. Apple is not a religious organization, but it has a spirit behind it. If you look at the vision, Apple's CEO Tim Cook will tell you, we say no to hundreds of thousands of good ideas daily. Why? Because they have a spirit, a particular thing that they are focused on. There is such a thing as the spirit of IBM or Apple or Microsoft or Tesla. There's such a thing as a spirit of Skylink. Skylink is having a big ripple in East Africa at the moment. They're just doing an entry and they are causing jitters. What is the spirit behind these guys? If you look at the vision behind Skylink, what they want to accomplish, as in making internet affordable to everyone, easily, conveniently affordable. It is not the same thing as the other organizations, the telecom organizations. Their spirit behind this, let me tell you, I can tell you that batting an eyelid, the spirit behind most telcos, in Africa especially, and even in the world, is to make money. It is to make money. And therefore, they're going to use the idea of providing you a service to make money. It seems to me like Skylink has done it the opposite way. That we are going after making sure. That's why he was able to give internet to guys in Ukraine for free. We're going after giving you internet. Make sure that it's accessible to you. It's fast. It's predictably fast. And it's cheap. There's such a thing as a spirit behind that thing. Whatever the case, the spirit can never be ruled out of the existence of anything. That's a very critical point to make. That should be our first lesson. That if we are not taking care of matters relating to spirit, we are busy doing all we can do to fail, even though we think we are succeeding. You remember what Stephen R. Covey said? He said that sometimes you can climb the ladder all the way to the top and you realize that, oh, this ladder was on the wrong wall, leaning on the wrong wall. And you know, that as an analogy talks about your life. When you've climbed up to the top of the wall, top of the ladder, you are in the 70s. And you realize, wrong wall. Do you have time to climb back down and start climbing up again? You don't. You might not have. So we've got to make sure that we are starting in the spirit. And we're doing that which we're supposed to do. Therefore, the origin and the processes of anything must at all times incorporate matters related to the spirit. But what if you didn't start? What if you didn't start in the spirit? That's why probably you're listening to this message. And someone might ask, what are you talking about? What is this spirit thing you're talking about? Knowing what spirit is, you'll find it behind the thing. So it's a famous saying that says, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And then someone else said, the thing behind the thing is the thing. What is the thing behind the thing? It is the spirit of the thing. If you find someone coming and they are trying to derail you, don't look at it from face value. Look at it deeply, prophetically ahead. Why is my life being distracted by this affair? Why is my life being distracted? Why am I having issues in my marriage? What is the spirit behind it? What is propelling it? The thing behind the thing is the thing. You find answers to questions related to spirit when you ask the question, why? So I've demystified for you if you're asking me, what spirit is it you're talking about? I'm just telling you. Why are you doing what you're doing? And you need to go back, and every time you get an answer to your first why, you've got to ask the next why of that particular answer that you've got. Until you can find no more answer, you'll have arrived to the spirit behind the thing. See now why it's not a religious thing? You can do this for your podcast. Why are you podcasting? Okay? And by the way, when you do this, you might find that, hey, dude, my motivation or my inspiration or my reason for doing this is selfish at the end of the day. because there's such a thing as a selfish spirit. You find, if you do this exercise, you find that I'm doing these things as is selfish. It's just selfish. It's not changing people. The grand scheme of things is not to change people, to transform people for the better, to transform our society for the better, to bring in innovation and create solutions and create value. You get. That's what you can be able to do. Why? Also, the what. These questions must be extremely paramount, especially at the top echelons of leadership. Why are you a president, Mr. Ruto of Kenya? Why are you a president, Mr. Museveni of Uganda? Why are you a president, Madam Suluhu of Tanzania? Why are you a president, Mr. Kagame of Rwanda? Why do you want to become a president, Kamala Harris? Why do you want to become a president, Donald Trump? Why? And that's when these politicians come to you. These are the questions we need to be asking them. Why? Kamala Harris was asked a question. The first interview, after dodging interviewers for a month, the first interview she did was a childlike interview, because it was just a conversation for 18 minutes. She was asked, what is the first thing you're going to do on day number 1 if you become president? Believe me, there was no coherent answer to that question. This question of why will reveal the spirit behind the thing. Because someone who is asked that question and they answer it with passion, you will see the passion, you will see the strategy. It will tell you this person really wants to do this, maybe was born to do this, has prepared to do this, they have a reason to do this. It is a cause for them, like we talked about in the previous episode. It is a cause for them. It's not a job. The why. What is your why? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? Have you ever clarified the answer to that question? Why? Why is it that you're doing what you're doing? When you find a leader bogged down with details of how and forgetting to steer the direction of the why, that's what Kamala Harris was doing. An organization is coming to a fall. Change is coming. Ask Nokia. Why? If you look at what Nokia was doing, what Nokia is doing, what Samsung and Apple are doing today. They were connecting people. Actually, their slogan was connecting people. But you've got to change with the times, even as your why might not change, but the how continues to evolve. Now is Nokia connecting people. Kids are very good at asking such questions, by the way, the why question. And let me tell you this, even as I come to an end of the episode today, that inquiry is the greatest tool for clarity, especially on matters related to the spirit behind anything. That's it. Ask questions. It is baffling to get into an interview and never ask anything that will reveal the spirit behind an organization or an individual. Why? Why? Why, when answered, comes close to revealing the spirit behind the cause. As a matter of fact, the people who dare ask these questions, matters relating to the spirit of the organization, in my estimation, are ones who are interested in finding out the very life blood of an organization. And if you're in an interview and you ask these questions passionately, these guys who are, and hopefully the people who are interviewing you, they know the answer. Hopefully they are the ones who are interviewing you, the ones who have the spirit behind it. They will start connecting your spirit with yours, and it's easy for you to get the job. It is not all about these qualifications and academic papers. It's about spirit. So if you're asking me, Lawrence, you're talking about the spirit. What is that you're talking about? I'm just talking about why. What is the why? That's it. Simon Sinek has written a big book called Start With Why. That is matters related to the spirit. Why? Tomorrow we go deeper. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.